So today I thought we'd make a spinner. Well, we're gonna upgrade a spinner. We're gonna take one of these Mepps aggia longs, and we're gonna make it a bit heavier, and we're gonna upgrade the shank on it. We're gonna put different hook on it. We're gonna change the plastic bead to a tungsten bead, so it adds a bit more weight. I think this is a, let's have a see, it's a 00, so it should weigh 1.5 grams. When we're finished, just get my scale out, put it flat. We should have beefed it up to 2.3 grams. So it should cast better. It should cast further, should have more precision in it, it should cut through the wind a bit better, and this thing is going to be deadly when we're finished with it. We're upgrading the shank from 0.5 millimeters to 0.7 millimeters. This stops the shank from the 0.5 millimeter stuff. It bends so easily, so it bends and then your spinner doesn't spin right. We're going to put new Clevis on it as well. We're going to take off the old Clevis, which is not the best, and we're going to put a new one on, a stronger one. So yeah, let's get started. We'll start with what tools you'll need. Some split ring pliers. You don't need them, but makes life easier. Side cutters. You'll probably need these. Some good ones as well, because we're cutting stainless steel. Small pair of pliers, and any pliers will do really. Needle nose, they'll be alright. I don't know what these are called. I think the jewellery making pliers, I think that's what they call them. These I picked up on eBay. These are actually for dental work when you're making braces and stuff like that, but they're what is it? The stainless steel, so it can handle bending stainless steel. If you get like normal jewellery ones, they're just usually soft steel, and they get all gnawed up from bending these. So stainless steel is pretty hard. So those are the tools you need. You shouldn't need anything more than this. If you don't have these, a small vise and a nail will be alright. You can make that work. In terms of parts, you'll need a Clevis, some tungsten or brass beads, and if you want to make the body from scratch, you don't like that body, or you want to make a different body, you can buy spinner bodies on eBay. If you're going to buy tungsten beads and you want to buy a few of them, I'd recommend getting them from China, because they're pretty expensive in the UK. China make them a lot cheaper. These ones are 0.6 grams, I think. These are 0.6 grams or 0.7, somewhere around there, and they're just your basic fly beads. These are for when you're tying flies and stuff like that, so you can pick them up pretty much anywhere, but like I say, if you're going to buy a lot of them, get them from China and they'll be a lot cheaper. So tungsten beads, Clevis, split rings. Again, what is it? If you're going to make it from scratch, you'll need a bearing bead. You can pick those up as well on spinner making sites like Spin Tech or something like that. You can buy the bearing beads, and you can get ready-made lure bodies as well. You'll need 0.7. These are spinner shafts. These are made for flying seas, but it's the same thing. These are 0.7. You can use 0.5, 0.6, etc. I use 0.7 because they're a bit more beefier. Some sort of hook. I'm going to use a spoon hook. So, but any hook will do. You can use a treble, even though I don't recommend trebles. I'd stick with single hooks. Again, if you're going to be making it from scratch, you'll need some spinner blades. These are all Sizewell spinner blades. You can pick those up on eBay. Clevises, these are size small. I got these from Spintech. I'm not sponsored by these guys or anything. I'm just telling you where I got my stuff. And but we're going to modify this one today, beef it up, and I'd say make it better than it originally was. So we'll get this out of the way for now. So we've got the blade, spinner shank, spinner body, spinner bearing, clevis and a hook. So we're going to be getting rid of most of this. All we'll be saving is the blade, the bearing and the spinner body. That's it. So if we compare the shank, so as you can see, that's a lot more beefier shank than that one. So we're going to use this one instead. Just take a side cutters, cut that shank. We're saving the blade. We're not saving the clevis. Where did my other clevis go? It's disappeared now. So I'll get one out. Just get one out so you can compare it. Hope you can see all that. The original one was all it is it's just a bent piece of sheet metal, really. This one is like a steel rod what's been shaped into it, so it's a lot beefier than the original one, and it won't crush as easily. I modified these because I have problems with the original ones. The shanks get all bent, and the clevises they bend and get squashed, and the blade doesn't spin anymore. It stops spinning. So we'll upgrade it to one of these. We'll keep the blade, keep the bearing. I'm gonna have to cut this again to get the body off. We'll keep the body. The plastic bead we don't need, because we're going to replace it with a tungsten bead and make it a little bit heavier. So we've got his part sorted out up there. Now we're going to start with the first bend on the shank. Like I say, you can do this between two nails in a vise. I'm not going to show you how to do that. You're just going to have to figure it out if you're going to do it that way. I've done it that way and it works fine. It's a little bit more, bit fiddlier, but you can manage it. So you hold it like that. Just move it up to the top because we want quite a small loop. This will be our first loop. This will be the end loop where we put the hook on and everything. So you can put your hook on without a split ring, but I recommend a split ring. So if you want to put the hook on, I'll show you what stage where you need to put the hook on. So we'll just start with a bend. Just bend it like that, so it looks like that approximately. It doesn't have to be, you know, like the perfect angle or anything like that. So we should look like that anyway. Then we put his pliers back in. And I hope you can see this on camera now. You see one of the plier, what could you call those, tongs is in the bend, and the other one is on the outside, and we're going to bend the tag around like that. So we take, get steady grip, push it around with your finger, and just slowly work it around. Just make sure you got nice tight bend until you get about to that point and it should look like that. Now if you don't want to use a split ring and you just want to put your your hook on, put it on now. Just slide the hook on there and put it on now, and that should be fine. I use a split ring like that straight away. It just makes changing the hook easier. If you blunt it, or you don't have a sharpener with you, or it breaks for some reason, you can easily just put a new split ring on. So it should look like that now. Grab as pliers, as jewellery pliers again. We stick that in like that. Hope you can see that on the camera. And just grip it hard. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bend these two towards each other. So that one's going to go that way, that one's going to go that way, with about somewhat even pressure. And just stick your finger in between them like that and slowly push it up until you get to about a 90-degree angle like that. And that should be good. So it should look like that. Hope you can see it. Now what you can do is you can see it's a bit warped and it's not perfectly straight and stuff like that. You don't have to worry too much about it. I'll just get rid of that fluff. So you just grab your pliers, just massage the wire a bit until you're happy with the straightness of it and everything. That looks pretty good to me. That one can be pushed down a little bit more like that. Now we're going to take the tag and we're going to go a full 360 around the shank. You can do more wraps if you want, but you don't need to do it more than 360 degrees. One wrap is definitely strong enough. So we just take it around. Again, just take your time, make sure it's nice and tidy till we get full wrap about there. Now it should look like that. Now we're going to take a side cutters, cut that tag off as close in as you possibly can, and you should have a loop like that. That's what it should look like. If the tag is sticking out a bit, you can just take your pliers and you can just crush it in if it is sticking out a bit. Mine's pretty tidy. I don't know if I'll get it around anymore. I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So tungsten bead. You choose a colour. I think for this one, because we used red before, we'll go with a blue one, just to make it interesting. So take us blue tungsten bead, slide that on first, then take us lower body, slide that one on, bearing bead, slide that on, the Clevis. You just want to put one end in first, leave it on the shank like that until you grab your blade. Now put your blade on, make sure you put the right side up. Now you put the second little hole on for the Clevis, and it should all slide down like that and look pretty tidy. Now we're going to do the same bend what we did at the bottom, at the top. You can choose how long you want your shank. It doesn't really matter too much. The original one was pretty long. This isn't a Mepps aglia long, but you can see how long the original Mepps shanks were there. I like to do mine a lot shorter than that. Just keeps it a bit more stealthy, doesn't it? A bit more presentable. So I'll do it somewhere around there. I don't know how much I've got to play with, about 5mm or something like that. Again, the same bend we did last time. Just bend the tag up and over. So you've got about that angle. I don't know what that is, about 45 degrees I suppose, but it doesn't really matter. As long as it's somewhere around there, it'll be fine. Then we put the pliers back in again. One in the bend, one on the tag end side. I'm calling it a tag end because I don't know the terminology for it, so I'm just using what is it, fishing knot terminology. So there's tag. Now we'll wrap that around like we did last time, exactly the same process until we get it parallel with the other one. Take his pliers out, put them back in that way, and now this is a little bit trickier with all with the blade and the lure body and all those parts on it now, so it's a little trickier to do it, but just take your time and you'll be fine. You might have to practice this bending doodah a couple of times, you know, before you get it nice and tidy, but it's same with everything. Practice makes perfect. So we're going to bend them both at the same time. Just push my finger in there. You can see that one's gone, the tag has gone a bit cockeyed, but we'll fix that later. We're just going to push my pliers in a bit more, get it over a bit more on that side like that. And it should look something like that. I'm pretty happy with that. So take a small pliers again, whatever pliers you're using. It's a bit out of shape, so just tweak it. This is hard to show on camera because the shank is at one angle, that's at another angle, it's going all which way, so just tidy it up a bit with the pliers, just push it up, get it nice and straight and sort it out. That angle's good for doing as wraps, so I'm happy with that. So now we'll wrap it again. It's a little bit harder doing it with all the stuff on, so if you hold it so everything is pointing downwards, gravity will help you keep that out of the way while you bend it. And all we're going to do, we're going to get a good grip, again good grip on it, bend it round. I only do one wrap. You can do more than one wrap if you want to, but one wrap is strong enough for me. So now it should look something like that. Again, this loop is a little bit bent, but we'll sort that out. We'll just cut the tag off first. Actually going to leave a little bit of the tag on there and press it round. But that should be pretty good like that. This loop is a little bit bent, so I'm just going to adjust that. Straighten it with the shank so they're both in line. That looks good to me. I'm happy with that. So got a blue one and a red one now. All we need to do is put a split ring on. Remove those Clevises out of the way. Put split ring on. All these are is these are just cheap assortment box on eBay. I don't know, I think you pay about £5 for a box like this. I just used the smallest ones what come here. I don't know what millimetre those are, what could they be, 5-6 millimetres. They're definitely strong enough even for larger trout. I'm not saying monsters, but they should be fine. Should be fine. I've never had a split ring fail on me. It's always the hook. If anything, the hook will fail before. Sorry, this is just a little bit fiddly. Just let me. So just put the split ring on. Split ring on. Take a hook. These are Like I said, these are spoon hooks, the size 10. You could put a smaller hook on. I like to use a little bit bigger hook because it stops them from it stops the smaller ones from swallowing it. The smaller hooks, they can be a bit nasty, and they swallow them and get them far down. So I like to use a little bit bigger, but you could use as small as a size 12 if you wanted to. Same thing again. Pretty much, instead of we're putting the split ring on the lower body, we're putting the hook on the split ring. We've done all that. Should look like this. And now we've got an upgraded spinner. So it started out at 1.5 grams, and we'll see how much we've increased it. We're up at almost 2.3, so almost a gram heavier. These will cast a lot further now. They'll cut through wind. Fishing these on rocks, they'll last now. The Clevis won't bend, it'll last a lot longer. The shank won't bend, you won't have to adjust that all the time. Well, I'm not going to say it won't bend, but it'll less likely it'll bend. I just need to see, but I need to fix that little tag and crush that, and it should be good to go, this spinner. So that's what it should look like when you're done. But yeah, these little things are deadly. You catch big, small, any size pretty much on them, and now you'll get a bit more casting distance, and they should last a little longer. Next time I'll show you how to kind of make a spinner from scratch. We'll make the blade, we'll do a different lure body, only using tungsten beads and some different bearing beads, and I'll show you how to make them with pre-bought blades as well. These don't really work that good, but they do work. But my homemade blades have worked a lot better. So that'll come next time. We'll make one, but hopefully this'll get you in the right, push you in the right direction on how to make them. And you might have some old spinners laying around what don't really work anymore, and you might upgrade them and well, not upgrade them, renovate them and make them great again. But yeah, thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions or anything like that, just leave a comment, and yeah, we'll look at making some from scratch next time. But hopefully this will keep you occupied until that video. Thanks for watching.